Boom! We're here. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's a good day to be nerding out with the Roll for Mischief crew.
And Die
Um,
Hard,
and yeah, all that good stuff.
the
So
movie. It's a good day.
we,
Die Hard.
Oh,
yeah. So,
I'm slow today.
So let's go ahead and get rolling here. Are there any special announcements that need to be made before?
Okay, I have a slew of them.
Okay, go for it.
Um, uh, the first one is still going on about campaigns I'm trying to put together. I am trying to put together four Waterhaven Dragon Heist games, one for each season. They will be Adventurers League games, which means everything has to be AL legal. But I want to run all four of them at the same time, in the sense that two will be played on Saturday and two will be played on Mondays, um, at the same times. Like, so there will be two slots on Saturday and two slots on Monday. And then I also want to add one game on Sunday, called Shattered Realms, which would describe as being uh, a mix between the Deck of Many Things, Bastion, and Kingdom Hearts. Um, and that is all of the clue that I'm going to give from here on out. I will continue to describe it like that, but that third element is all of the clue left that people will get until I can get all four or five players compiled.
So if you're fans of Roll for Mischief, hit me up on Twitter, and we will get you into that game.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to know what the hell I mean by a mixture of that.
Also, if you want to know how to get a hold of us on Twitter, just scroll down a little bit underneath our Twitch thingy. There should be a Twitter button to press.
There is.
And if you want to know what the schedule is, you for what I'm looking for, you can look for me at Original Rubahawk. I believe I have it pinned as to what my proposed schedule of adding will be. So if you do want to play in any of the games, these times are going to be hard locked because I'm trying to add an additional 8, 16, 20 hours of games, and I frankly can't just randomly I can't randomly do 20 hours. So, plus Mischief Mischief and Misfits and Volohin. So I have to put in hard times for that.
Makes sense.
Huh?
I said it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
And we also need 1 to 2 players for Mischief and Misfits game. We are still down, and Laura had to step down for a little while her life is kind of getting back in order. We're not stopping the game. We are going to continue to play. But if anyone would like to join us there as well, she can, or that you can contact the Roll for Mischief Twitter account. Asa will get you in contact with me, and we will talk about whether you're going to be a good fit for our table. If you would like to know whether you're a good fit for the table, we've had 7 2-hour episodes so far. Watch them. They're short and easy and a lot of fun, and that might give you an idea whether you want to be involved.
Okay.
I have an announcement. I have a cold, and it's awful. And everyone watching, you now have the cold too.
No.
Well, it's a good thing for you. I'm not watching.
But yeah, apart from that, if there is anyone from the UK watching this now or at any point within the next couple of days, whenever it goes up on YouTube, Manchester Fab Cafe, go there Saturday, the 23rd. I'll be GMing at the Hidden and Stranger event there. You just need to turn up, and I'll have everything there for you. So that's for most of the day. And if anyone has any clue how websites work, the mastertiergaming.com website has a Roll for Mischief section, but it looks naff. So if someone wouldn't mind giving me a hand with that. Any comments, criticisms, that sort of thing, just let us know. Tweet us to let us know that you hate the website.
And we are in fact relatable, just so that way everybody knows.
Oh yes, there's a podcast called Unrelatable Content. But when I asked my mate, "Do you want me to make a logo for it?" and he's like, "Nah, just the writing will be fine." But then when I sent it to him, he spread the writing out like top and bottom, like it's just a massive gap. Yeah, it says "Roll for Mischief," unrelatable content.
So unrelatable.
All right. Well,
Yeah, that's my announcements.
if that does it, we can jump right into our game.
Hold on. We finally have the intro video ready.
Oh
So-
my god! I am so used to not having it ready.
I
just
know,
was like,
I know.
nope, not even gonna do that.
Yeah, getting this new episode started, certain people, this guy was dragging his feet a little bit, and yeah. Pleased to say that I'm not dragging my feet that much anymore, and pleased to say
I was completely
What?
organized.
Oh, yeah,
regarding
no,
this intro
Drew?
sequence.
Drew was on it.
I didn't finish it like 2 seconds before we
No,
started.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and roll them credits. Wait, what?
Hold on, before we do
Yeah.
start, one more. Go check out the Roll for Mischief. If you look for the blind sight feat
Yeah.
on the Roll for Mischief D&D Beyond homebrew. We will in the future release more homebrew content, but at the very least the Mischief and Misfit side, I am homebrewing stuff that I don't want to release early, partially for the surprise of the episode, partially because I don't want my players to find out about it. So, because if I say, oh, hey, there's a new monster that I've created, then they'll know what to look for. So, that's it. But we will be adding more homebrew content in association with Dragon's Plume Gaming, which is me who is designing all this, or designing these things for the most part.
We are just the best kind of online flasher. You gaze your eyes in our direction once, and we just open the jacket and show you everything.
Exactly. That's it.
All right,
Yep.
sweet. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll them credits. All right, that was awesome. Yeah, dude, I really missed that music a lot. Missed the whole intro sequence. Missed having that. So it's good to have it back. And we're gonna keep on doing cool stuff like that. Maybe I'll even make new music and new flashy things, and who knows. So without further ado, let's transition into what we like to call group therapy, which also kind of serves as a recap of what the last session was like. And would anyone like to go first?
Not me.
Not me. Wait. Okay.
I guess it'll be my turn
Yeah.
to go first. I don't like to go first because then it gives everybody a chance to discover before they can speak what Theala's thinking, which is always fun and unusual.
Theala's so mysterious.
And mysterious. So yeah, we basically spent the whole episode in town, if I remember correctly. Or yeah, the whole session in. Thank you. Sorry, thinking Eminem, which is episode based. So yeah, we spent the whole session essentially in town. Oh yeah, I know. We left the ICB and we walked into town where Theala was not wanting to be anywhere near either Eigner and especially not Halifax. She was not feeling very great about herself. And she was she just kind of hid away and just kind of scouted the area. Whenever they got to town, instead of going to the bar to drink with Eigner and Halifax, she or I went off and to the to get a room at the inns. The first inn that they went to, it was a racist old woman who didn't like drow. So she got in a bit of a kerfuffle with, as Drew would probably say. Just and she stole. She got in a verbal argument and then stole some of her stitch work, the old woman's stitch work, and then went next door to the next one, which was run by the old man's granddaughter or old woman's granddaughter, I'm assuming, but
a relative of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, some kind of relative, and who was much more open to renting out to Theala, and much more open to conversation with Theala, who took the opportunity to try to, maybe exercise her feelings
just
through physical exploration.
Just use the word seduce. It's a lot easier.
No, that's. I mean, she was attempting to seduce the woman, but she was doing it specifically for the purposes of she wanted to have some kind of physical release, like a dopamine release or an endorphin release, specifically through sex, because that's kind of Theala's go-to. Because her feelings about herself and Halifax are currently kind of muddled. And that's kind of, she ate at home and overtipped, and that's kind of where she's at. I think that was pretty much it. She went to bed and didn't even look at Halifax or Eigner, I don't think.
Not really.
Yeah.
So Halifax is trying to orient himself after the episode lowercase e in the magic vault thing. That whole illusory reality where he and Theala had a good solid relationship. It's perturbed him somewhat. The idea that he would find himself in that sort of situation. He instead wants to focus on saving the world. He wants to make sure that people are safe. That's been his sole ambition, his sole focus. And so he's not sure if it's a weakness in himself or just a product of the illusion that he abandoned that for pursuing a relationship with Yala. But not only that, is it possible that in a non-illusory reality, he could prioritize one person over the many? In this case, would it be centered around Thiala herself? Is this like a true love situation, or is this just a character flaw revealing itself to Halifax? And this is the thing that he's struggling to deal with. And the way that he's choosing to deal with it is by not addressing it and just continuing on and waiting until some other motivating factor or some other situation demands that it be confronted. Because why confront these things when they could just go away?
Just boil and fester until you.
Man, I never realized that Halifax was such a believable, realistic character, but that's real life right there. Why fix things when you could just ignore it and hope it goes away someday?
Right?
If there's anything that I do as a GM, it's get your characters to think like real people.
Yeah, for certain.
So that's Halifax.
For sure. I'm not entirely sure what all I can say about Eigner other than he's going through a rough time. I mean, like we essentially found out that the whole first couple of sessions of this entire episode was all this long, drawn out, crazy, elaborate illusion that essentially was all part of this insane psychological torture that Vincent Vishoon was putting Eigner through. And that really messed up Eigner in the head a lot, and he's been having a hard time adjusting to reality, especially since when he returned to reality, he found out that he could not see anymore. He has lost the use of his eyes, but his other senses are compensating for that. And it's been a weird thing for him, and he's not sure how to think about what to think about it. Not sure about much of anything right now. So he's just kind of going along for the ride, and obviously wants to try and talk to Ethel, because he's got this question in his head of like, when he was in his illusion, was there any point at which he was actually speaking to the real Ethel? Or was it an illusionary Ethel the whole time? Because Eigner knows that Ethel has these capabilities, especially when he's like asleep or whatever. You know, she could like just totally pop into his dream or something like that. So there's this ambiguity there. Like, was Ethel part of this illusion too, in a real sense, or was she just totally fabricated by Vincent in every form? But he also knows that he won't have the chance to ask Ethel because Ethel's in a comatose state, if I remember correctly. So it's a little rough for him right now, but he's going to figure it out. He always does. He's never been blind before, but he'll figure it out.
I'm feeling pretty excited. So the episode ended.
Session.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna like create a like terminology chart, just post it somewhere.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking episode because I'm thinking like TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, I know we went back and forth about that terminology a lot in the beginning, but this is what we committed to, and
I know.
Everyone else other than me is going to have to do a better job with it.
Exactly. So I'll make this quick because we're half an hour in. I would like to start playing. Okay, so our last session ended with Clara, the woman that Theala had been speaking with most of the night, barged into the tavern where Halifax and Eigner were eating and drinking, and she goes up to the bartender, a man named John Sonsgood.
That's
She rushes
right,
up to
that's
John
right.
and says, "John, they're gone. My children, they're missing." And John tells her, "Clara, not here." And he leads her into the back room. And that is where we're going to pick up for this session.
Hell yeah.
So
So all of us are. Wait. Which? I'm sorry. Which tavern is it again, or which?
We didn't give it a name.
Yeah, we
but
just stumbled upon this random town, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we didn't ask about names or any of that stuff. I can provide all that information if it needs be. But yeah, you two are still in the tavern where Sonsgood works. It's called the Blue Box.
Okay.
And yeah, why it's called the Blue Box, it's hard to say. The building's not even blue.
Then I'm not sure why they would call it that. Then.
I don't know either.
Anyways. Eigner, he obviously has got super good hearing now, so he looks in the direction. No, he doesn't look in the direction. He he turns his head in such a way to where his ear is going to be directed toward where that possible conversation would be going on, and he's going to attempt to eavesdrop from a distance.
Okay.
That is what
then
he's
I will
going
offer
to
a
do.
perception check.
Yeah, you know it.
So
Which
I provide a little bit of input just because like this is my feat and I would probably
go for
how I would probably rule is at least for Ace's point, this is a good one, but just remember that he's listening through. He's got great hearing and he's listening through a crowd.
Yeah.
So like
So-
I've
yeah,
never,
yeah. So I was actually gonna say you can roll with disadvantage, which is gonna cancel out your advantage, which is gonna
Yeah.
make it just a normal
Right.
roll.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
do it.
I've never even used this feat, so I'm just kind of like, hey, this is where I would have come from.
All right.
And Ace's
Exactly what I was going to.
Yeah, Asa, you are cutting out, my boy.
Oh, I know. I've been doing that off. No.
All right. Well, we'll deal with it as best we can. It's kind of funny to have a frozen Asa.
Oh, I'm really close.
Yeah. All right. So if you can hear me, bud, it's going to be a 16 on that regular old roll. Ooh, a secret message? Are you
Yeah.
saying you can't hear me? Is that what you're saying? Is that can't?
Ken.
Can?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you not speaking?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
Is it
can
going-
hear you.
We can now.
Good.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I thought I was still all frozen and stuff. Okay, good.
Oh,
I'm
no,
all
you're-
caught up now.
No, you're
Awesome.
fine.
Okay,
I
so-
heard you the entire time. I heard you say that a +5 Vorpal longsword falls into my hand.
No, Eigner's. He was
Into
making
Into
the
the
roll.
wizard's
And
hand.
then immediately it swings and decapitates Eigner, and then his head becomes a flying bat head.
Bummer, dude.
Okay,
Not
so
again.
you can hear their voices very faintly through in the next room. The common room's not actually that loud. This particular tavern seems to be a place that caters to the degenerates of this town, who seem to kind of want to come in and be left alone. You are, however, listening through a larger section of the building. So,
Uh-huh.
but you can hear John's voice, explaining to Clara. You know why they've done this. This is not the first time, and I'm sorry. I can't get involved. To do so would put everything that I've come here for at risk. And Clara, just continues to plead with him for help.
Hmm.
And finally, he just sighs and says, "I can't make you any promises, but I'll see what I can do."
After hearing that last bit, Eigner will very sullenly pick up his mug that Halifax helped him get, and he'll just drink his ale. And all three of us are at the table, right? Or is Fiala?
Elle's
Okay,
in
Fiala's.
the inn. She fucked off. She doesn't want to
For
talk
sure,
to you right
for sure,
now.
understandable. So
Yeah.
I'll say to my friend Halifax, there's something really fishy going on here. Not sure if I like this town.
We do seem to get an odd reception at every building we stop into.
No, I'm talking about the woman right there.
Oh,
Or
yeah, she did
that
seem quite
she's-
distressed.
Yeah, she was talking. Yeah, she was talking to the barkeep, and barkeep is saying some very suspicious kind of things. Don't know if I like it. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't like it.
Had you your eyes, I would suggest that perhaps we should sneak closer and see if we could get more information. If only Thiala was here. I'm sure she's an expert at stealth tactics.
She's an expert at a lot of things. Half of them I don't even know about.
If only we had some kind of wizard who could cast some sort of invisibility spell.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But we don't have one of those, so...
Halifax, what spells do you know again?
Ironically, both of those would be covered by Thiala.
Turns out you don't pick combat spells in a game with me. Just so you know.
Well,
So... Well, what sort of suspicious things could you hear, Eigner?
well, the woman said that her children were gone, right?
Yes.
The man insinuated that he knew perhaps who took the children and perhaps why they did so. And he seemed reluctant to offer any kind of help. I really don't think this is a can of worms that we want to open up right now. We're just passing through, but like I said, it's suspicious, and I don't like it.
I would like Thiala to roll me a perception check.
Okay. Still not great yet.
And this might be a bit of a, step back in time. This event might be happening before our current conversation, but that's okay.
Nat 20 plus 4.
Oh, yeah. So,
There you go.
you definitely heard it might have been a lot quieter to most people, but you very audibly heard a gasp, followed by just what seemed to you the thunderous ruffling of cloth, and then footsteps darting from the building. That this all just seems to come up in your sleep, or come up as you're like just chilling and meditating. Like you just hear all this sound. It feels like it's all just being filtered directly to your ears.
Okay.
And yeah. I
Okay.
just overspoke, so my bad. Go ahead and respond, react.
Hold on one second.
While you're just figuring that out, for Eigner and Halifax, I have made the assumption, and I want to just make sure that it's correct, that you have been in the tavern for at least an hour or maybe a little longer, just eating and drinking and.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Eigner in particular is taking his time. He's taking his sweet time.
Yeah. With this woman coming in, however, I would like to say to Eigner, I think whether through honesty or subterfuge, we should seek to help this woman. Perhaps it may provide some answers as to why our treatment has been a little odd in this town. But regardless, something like children going missing can quickly escalate into worse things.
I can agree with that. As far as our reception in this town, I don't think there's any very mysterious or complicated answer behind that. I've been in plenty of places where I've not been welcome, and you can't take that personally. People have their reasons, but I agree. If we can help this woman, I'd like to.
Okay, so quick question there. With the ruffling, if I were to stick my head out the window, would I be able to hear that or see anyone?
Repeat that. I'm sorry. I was talking to McInnis.
Were you guys done, or is that? I'm sorry.
No, do your thing.
Okay, sticking my head out the window, would I have seen anybody?
Yeah, your window is one that's like over facing the street. Then you see Clara running from the building, and she runs across the street into a tavern. On the little hangy sign thingy is the picture of what seems to be like an 8-paned window surrounded in a blue frame.
Right.
And it says the blue box underneath that.
Right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, as soon as I see her, I'm not gonna wait her to make it in to the into it. I'm going to, having high suspicion. The reason why why it took me so long is because I rolled to see what kind of insight I would have, and I rolled a 17 plus 4, so I'm like, I clearly, something is feeling inside me. So I'm going.
Coincidentally, that is the way I kind of like players to roll things like insight checks. If they take that initiative to figure out what they want, how they want to respond to a thing.
Yeah,
I could.
Because I'm always struggling with things like insight checks in how do I roll something and then give them information. And I really want the players to delve into the idea of this is what my character believes.
Oh, then you must love me because I roll so many more dimes than I like reference.
I'm down with it. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So she's gonna pull off her special forces basically training, and she's gonna I'm gonna have to acrobatics check out the window onto the top of the building across, and I'm going to basically follow her rooftop to rooftop, which is going to be a series of both stealth checks and acrobatics checks.
Yes, they are thatched roofs. That's not always the strongest material, so definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm going into soldier mode. Like I said, right now there's basically two things that she's doing: trying to fuck and trying to kill. So there is an indication to her with that, again, insight check. There is indication to her that there is something to kill who maybe is putting someone she wants to fuck in danger. So this is a great opportunity for her. So we'll first start with
Fiala is playing marry, fuck, kill, but no marrying.
Yeah, but no marrying. No.
Never.
She just doesn't understand that game because she's like, marry? I'll fucking kill shit, but I don't know about this game.
She's always played it with like 1 fuck, 2 kills, or 2 fucks, 1 kill.
Exactly. Yeah, she always is like, can I just have 2 fucks in this situation? I will for sure fuck that thing. Okay, so start with our acrobatics, which is 20 total. I'm assuming that I make that.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. And then my stealth is 12.
Okay.
I'm assuming as a person, I mean, she's probably not like super perceptive, but not great.
I mean, you're not gonna get noticed by her.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
as you're making your way across the roof, you're focusing more on keeping your balance and staying on the roof and not accidentally damaging something than you are in actually keeping quiet. Um, as you're running along, though, people are poking their heads out the window and looking up as they're hearing things banging across tops of their homes and or
Um,
businesses.
in that case, I'm going to. Again, I rolled 18 total for perception. I'm going to notice that. So I'm
Yeah.
going to, as I'm running along, I'm going to cast greater invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And I'll probably still want to or I'll still want to do stealth checks, but um, it'll be to not be heard, not to not be seen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play by raw and make him make a stealth check every few feet. I'm just gonna
Right.
roll the 12 your full thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to maintain. You're casting greater visibility. People are looking up and they're kind of just looking around, and then you hear them like muttering to themselves about wild animals.
So like some people probably saw like a dark figure, a dark skinned elf in dark leather armor, uh, like just suddenly like kind of fade into the dark sky. So they're probably like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is, but okay. So then, yeah, she's gonna continue to follow. Do you want me to just then keep that acrobatic score and not worry about it?
Yeah, I mean the following's not too far because she is just going across the street. In,
Okay.
in
Then yeah, I will
back.
go do that, and then I will, because it only lasts a minute. If it's not that far, I'm going to go in, follow her. Did she go straight in, and then have that conversation and go in, or did she like wait around for a little bit?
No. She like the moment she went in the door, that's the moment from the end of last session, the pickup of this session, her walking in and talking to John.
Okay, so then in that case, what I'm going to do is, for as much time as I have, I am going to stick as close as I can get, and I can mutter underneath my breath a second greater invisibility, so that way I can find a good place to hide while they have their conversation.
Okay, are you going into the room then that they're talking in?
Yeah, if I feel like there's a place that I can hide in there, and then so that way when I lose my minute inside, I have a place in there that I can hide behind.
Yes, you are able to do that. I need to grab dice. Sorry, and
I'm assuming new stealth check for this nonsense.
definitely a new stealth check. And I will even give Pillafax and Eigner an opportunity to perceive you. So, what are your guys' perception
Okay.
thingies?
Are you-
Passive
passives.
perception?
Passive?
Passives.
Oh.
Mine's gonna be 15.
Uh,
Agner's yours
13.
is going to be 20.
Oh, that's right. Cause invisible things don't fucking work for me, and I get
Advantage, which is
bonus.
essentially a +5.
Yeah, pretty
In
much.
passive, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, come
Awesome.
on, notifications, go away.
Yeah, it's a powerful fucking.
Yeah, so what was your
It's
stealth
just-
check?
Mhm.
It can be negated very easily.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Not great, but it'll do.
Yeah.
20. Oh, actually, no, I forget. I have IS stealth. 18.
Okay.
Oh, I still perceived it. Ow.
Yeah, you still perceived
Yeah.
it, but
I did.
I
In-
did not.
I'm not trying to hype for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. In Agner, in your intense listening to the conversation happening, you also hear, the slight ruffle of fabric and padded footsteps, very, very faint. That tells you a third person has entered the room those two are talking in.
Would Fiala have like snuck by our table at all?
Possibly. And does Theala have specific, like a very specific smell?
That's what I was
Or,
just
like,
gonna
certain
ask.
perfumes that
Oh,
That's what I was gonna ask about. Yeah, because he wouldn't be able to tell it was Theala necessarily by the sound, but if he smells something in particular, he would mutter something to Halifax about it.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna make up a thing because she would have a smell. She would have a like very distinct like
Musk.
flower um aroma, like her home, like would have like like cleaning supplies essentially of like this kind of very like home flower.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you would necessarily know what the flower is.
No, he would just have that association of like,
Yeah,
it smells
like
like Theala.
she would have a very distinctive smell, and like it's a very alluring, almost like
Now,
jazzy kind of smell.
here's one thing I'm going to point out.
Yeah.
Eigner and Theala have not spent that much time together.
True.
But they have
So-
spent time together while Eigner has had this feat.
A point I want to make is that the smell you're getting is familiar, but
Uh-huh.
you do not immediately identify it with Theala.
Okay. Well, in that case, Eigner will just kind of trail off at the end of a sentence when he smells it, but really won't say anything to Halifax. But Halifax can definitely tell that Eigner's picked up a scent or something.
Halifax would for sure know what it is from his 6 years of Dreamtime.
Sure.
That is true.
What does your human nose detect?
First of all, this ain't no regular human nose. No, but what he actually says is, I smell a kind of flower. It's familiar, but I just can't place it right now.
Is it perhaps something in the vein of a stargazer lily?
I wouldn't know.
Write that shit down.
I wouldn't know. I'm not too good with the flowers, but
Perhaps our more capable companion is living up to her reputation.
I do hear the pitter-patter of soft sneaking feet as well. She shows up when you least expect her.
Well, let's hope that she can divine more of what is going on here. Let us continue with our food and drink, and when John or anyone else emerges from the room, we can then act on whatever happens. If the lady emerges seeming upset, however, I would like to pursue her out of the building. Would you be comfortable remaining until I return?
Yeah, fine. As long as you can get me another mug of ale, that'd be just fine.
If I very quickly disappear from the table, that's where I am.
Very well.
Are you going to go and pour a glass yourself?
I'm terribly sorry, what?
Are you going to go pour like him a drink by yourself? Or are you going to wait until John returns?
John sounds good.
Ooh.
Only because John hasn't come back. He was talking with
That's a good
Very
point.
true.
said person.
So, but the lady's still in the room with John, as far as we know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's have a go. The people in this town don't like us so far. Let's give them a reason. Let's go steal some drinks.
All right.
It's okay. He's an
So,
enchanter. He's an enchanter.
Fiala,
he
you
can change people's minds.
you've snuck into the room, and you were listening to the conversation that I had already recounted before. Um, she Claire has explained that she went to her kids' rooms and found that they weren't there. Uh, she searched the yard, couldn't find them. Uh, and from the things you heard, like it doesn't seem like she tried that hard. Um, and
Oh,
she's not trying to make it sound like she tried harder than she did. But you know that it seems like she wasn't really a full. I'm going to go out in the streets and call my children's name and search the neighbor's house. Like she went right to John as soon as she assumed that they were gone. Um, and he explains to her why he can't. She knows that he can't get involved. Um, and then when that happens, and she begs him, and he says, I'll see what I can do. She whispers very quietly, "You have your magics. You can find them easily. No one will ever detect you." And he opens his mouth to say something, and then he looks at the door and he goes, "Well, someone is messing with my taps." Excuse me. And he walks out of the room. And as Halifax has gotten up to pour a beer, the curtain behind him opens and he hears a voice saying, "I beg your pardon. Could I get you a drink?"
Yes, thank you. I would have waited for a member of staff to become available, but you seemed quite busy.
"Oh, I'm never too busy for my patrons, especially those who decide that it's in their best interest to touch things that don't belong to them." He nudges you aside and grabs the mug from your hand and pulls a lever, and beer pours out of this device. Usually they're just a keg, and you pull it. You open the thing and it pours out. But he's got it set up so that it's just these keg taps on top of the counter itself. And looking underneath, you've seen certain hoses and pipes that lead off, and they go off into the room to that he just came out of. And he's got no less than 12 of these kind of taps.
Oh man, he's stacked.
He knows how to make the ales all good and stuff. I don't know. You compare this to the other inn tavern. There were like probably just 3 big kegs sitting right there against the wall. Anywho,
Halifax.
he pours. Oh, good.
Halifax, where's that mug?
It's coming, Eigner. Be patient.
All right.
He pours the beer, hands it to you, and says, "Please don't do that again."
I will be sure to wait for a member of staff in the future. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Theola, you are alone with Clara in what appears to be the kitchens. Behind you, you can see a row of kegs, and from them is just this chill. And you cannot see kind of frost built up on the wood around them and kind of stuck to the ground, but there's a line where none of that cold seems to really go beyond that point. And then, of course, in the other end of the room, almost in contrast, flooded with light from a fire, and there's all this cooking ware, and there appears to be a pot above the fire boiling with stew, and the ladle is stirring itself.
Okay.
And Clara has taken a seat and is just looking around the room at all these different things. But but she doesn't seem too perturbed. That's all I have to say. I realize I'm really bad at stopping and letting somebody respond.
Okay. I am going to do two things. The first thing is I'm going to continue to stay hidden. The second thing I'm going to do is I am going to. Let me see one thing really quick though. Let's see if I can. Okay. I am going to disguise myself as a half orc female who has the very apparent look of drunkenness.
Interesting.
And I am going to prestidigitation myself. I think that can last an hour, yeah. To give myself the slightest smell of alcohol, not enough to where they would have smelled it from far away, from as far away as they were, but if they would have come within a foot of her, it would be something they would start to smell within a foot. And then if they got like right up in her face, it would be like, oh yeah, no, this half orc is drunk. And so I'm gonna basically sit there and try to put my body so that way it looks like I just like passed out drunk, and wait. And then if I get discovered, I'm there. And as soon as she leaves, I'm going to, or not as soon as, but a little while after she leaves, I will stumble out of there as if I were drunk, and in case I get caught.
Okay. As Clara's looking around the room, her gaze, just kind of lazily drifts over where you're laying. And then, like, I don't know if your eyes are open or not, but you hear her just go, "Excuse me." And you hear the chair creak as she stands up and her footsteps coming towards you, and she kind of prods you with her toe. "Excuse me, miss. You're not supposed to be back here." Just a second, my phone's ringing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm right where I need to be here in my space.
Eigner, I have a strong feeling that there's a drunk orc somewhere.
Oh, no, believe me, I started smelling it just now. Yeah, this place is strange. This place is very strange.
Mighty strange indeed.
What'd you say the name of this tavern was again? The Blue Box?
I believe so. That's what the sign says.
Who names a tavern the Blue Box?
I don't know.
I think it's because there's more beer on the inside than on the outside.
That's fair. All I'm saying is that you need to have a proper name, like the Drunken Dragon, or the Drunken Monkey.
Drunken Animal.
Yeah, Drunken Animal, or whatever. Or, yeah.
Perhaps the wolf is just a bigger nerd than you.
I did quickly look up the invention of beer pumps, because I was curious, and I didn't actually know the history of beer pumps. And they were invented in the 1600s.
What do you know?
By the same guy who also patented the fire hose. So he was just a big pump guy.
Apparently so.
Pumping water.
Well, apparently in
pumping
this
beer.
universe, the Doctor has invented them.
Yeah.
I mean, John sounds good.
Yeah. You can also go as easily with it's a magic version of it. So it's like,
Yeah.
just-
Oh, it's definitely magic. I mean, dwarves probably have this technology too, but it's not magic technology.
Of course dwarves had it.
Oh, the weird thing about it being invented in the 1600s is the same sort of argument that I see about like the Last Jedi and things like that. It's like, oh, if they had the technology and stuff. It's a basic hand pump.
Mhm.
It's based on technology that they've had since like
Old ass technology.
this is like ancient Greece BC technology, just put to one particular use with a particular design, and all of a sudden it's
Pretty dope.
revolutionary.
Right.
Specialization, for sure.
Yep.
Hey, what was the last thing you said, Josh, relating to the
Oh,
game?
I said, I in Izark, I was like, no, this, sorry, no, this is my room. You get out of here. And I kind of like curl over as if I have a blanket on, but I don't, and just kind of like put my face into the ground.
You hear her huff, and then she walks away, and you hear the sound of rushing water for a moment, and then she comes back, and then you just are just splashed with water, and she says, "Excuse me, miss, but this is not where you belong, and I think you should get out now." And she's standing above you, a pot in one hand. Hey, my internet! Stop it!
Yeah. Okay. I think I got enough of that. How tall is? I mean, Clara's pretty short.
Yeah.
So even, I mean, and don't get me
She's
wrong.
like 5'2".
Yeah. Somehow someone is taller than an elf, or shorter than an elf. And so,
I've just connected 2 dots.
seriously?
Yeah, Clara. I just.
Hence all the jokes I was making. Okay.
Oh my
Now
god.
we're on the same page. So I'm gonna like stand up and like kind of like puff out like a cat and kind of like look down and over her and kind of, I'm not going to do anything about it, but I want to make an intimidating force and then say, fine, and then walk and turn around and leave. So I'm an intimidation and then nat 20.
So what, the intimidation is just you looking menacing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at her menacing. Like, I'm basically trying to be an orc. So I'm looking menacing, and then I decide to then turn around and leave. That it's not worth it.
She stares back at you defiantly, but her brow like is trembling a little bit. And then just about the same time that you decide it's not really worth it, she just kind of steps to the side, like with her head down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense with a 30 total intimidation.
I mean, she tries.
she
tries
tried,
to be.
but she's going up against a force she doesn't know.
And to be fair, with
Yeah.
that sort of intimidation check against most of the people, it would be like a, oh shit. Okay. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Laura, and she's fucking stubborn.
Yeah, no, I track with you on that. I mean, with the 30, I'm intimidating all but the most fiercest of warriors.
You're also
So-
talking about someone based on a character who tried to convince a Cyberman that she was the doctor.
Yeah, no. I got you. Like I said, your reaction was, I just wanted to point out that
Yeah.
I got a fucking 30. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, she heads out and kind of stupors out, and then nope. And then she walks back out the front door and goes, but instead of going up to her room or up to my room, I'm going to sit down in the lobby um, having like finding a safe spot to drop disguise somewhere there, and like drop my scent, and then sit down in the lobby and wait.
As you leave the kitchen, you walk out the door, and John is just wiping his hands and wiping the tap off with the rag, and then he turns and sees you coming out of the kitchen and goes, "What are you doing back there? What is going on in this place? People are just everywhere where they shouldn't be. Go sit down somewhere or something. I'll come serve you in a minute."
Oh, so I just walked out. Like I will kind of grumble and shake my head a little bit, but like I'm just like staggering out. And I rolled a 4 perception plus, not
Out of the bar entirely.
4 perception plus.
You don't even notice that.
Yeah, 4 plus 4. So I know an 8. So I don't even notice Eigner and Hillofat.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you're like
100%.
stumbling down with your head down. You don't even notice them.
Right. That is 100% why I narrated it the way that I did. Is because with an 8 total, I didn't notice them. Their passive stealth is higher than that, guaranteed.
Just
That's-
unobservant.
Passive stealth.
That's the thing.
I'm just sitting here.
Read the PHP.
It's true. Some people are much less noticeable than others.
Yep. It's actually 100% a thing that they suggest in the PHP is consider passive skills other than just
Oh, I know.
yeah. So they're essentially and especially in a crowded bar, they're essentially
I do it all the time.
You know, they're just not noticeable to me right now. And so I go, and I'm going there specifically, player knowledge, I'm going there specifically to wait for them to pass along that information.
Okay. So Halifax had mentioned that if Clara was going to leave the tavern, then he would want to go after her.
Wait for my internet to catch up.
Yeah.
She still looks like an orc.
What?
Clara left, not, or, Theala
He's
left.
not going after Theala.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He doesn't even know that she was in there. He knows something
Yeah.
wrong, but he doesn't know that she was in there.
Okay. I was getting some choppy conversation. I was under the impression you were saying Halifax wants to go after Theala.
Mm-mm.
So I was gonna
Get it
say that
right.
wouldn't make any sense. He doesn't even know it's her.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually, for the sake of not getting it right, I'm gonna call an early break just because I need to figure out why my internet's being so choppy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
I know part of it is the rain, but I need to figure out the other part.
Rain, go away, dude.
Yep.
All right.
Well, at that, with some technical difficulties, we are going to go ahead and take a little break. Tune in back with us in about 10-15 minutes, and we hope to see you very soon.